All right, guys. So today we're going to cover a special video. Today we're going to cover the Centurion Specialization. So when you reach level 20 on any character, you get to specialize that character into a advanced version of that character.
All right, guys. So if you love what we're doing here on Stream Raiders, please consider getting one of our skins and repping for the TeamVASH community. It really helps us to keep on producing content and doing what we're doing here. So thank you so much. All right, let's get right into it.
And today we are going to cover the three options for the Centurion. We have the Brutal Centurion, the Heavy Centurion, and the Master Centurion. Now, the Brutal Centurion is a specialized armor unit that boosts the defense of other nearby armored units and deals 40% extra damage to other armored units. So what this means is the Centurion will boost tanks and Centurions. So any tank or Centurion that is around that, your Brutal Centurion is going to periodically get a buff that is going to increase their armor. So your tanks and Centurion tanks are going to be super beefy, super hard to kill. The Brutal Centurion is going to be a tank killer. He basically gets 40% extra damage against Centurions and tanks, and he's going to just tear through their defensive front line really fast. So he is a tank buffing tank killer. That is the Brutal Centurion. Next, we have the Heavy Centurion. He is a specialized armored unit that boosts the defense of other nearby armored units and has a 30% damage defense against all rolls. So just like all Centurions, he boosts all of your tanks and all of your Centurions that are close to him. So whichever of your armored units are close to this guy are going to become super hard to kill. And the Heavy specialty is even more defense. Now this defense is special. It has a 30% defense against all rolls. So this defense is not specific to archers. Typically, when you are an armored unit, you are extremely resistant to archer fire. So enemy bows and enemy bombers, they're not going to do anything. Well, they'll do a lot less to you. This will give you even more armor, but not just against archers, against every other class, including warriors, which are typically the unit that you will use to counter and kill an enemy tank. So he can actually be extremely resistant to all forms of damage, including the thing that would normally kill him. So the Heavy Centurion is the most survivable of all classes. He is extremely hard to kill. Now, the Master Centurion is a specialized armor unit that boosts the defense of your other nearby armor units, the same as the other two. But his specialty is that he actually has a wider range of this effect. He has a 4 range rather than a 1 range. I think it's 1 or 2. So the Master Centurion buffs a very large area around him to increase the armor of your tanks and Centurions. So of these three, I personally find the Master Centurion to be the least effective. He's the most effective for unorganized teams, but he is the least effective in terms of how much impact his ability has. So even though he affects a really wide range, that effect is really only affecting your tanks. Now, if you were organized with your team placement and you were placing your units effectively, it wouldn't matter if you had a wider range because your team is going to be smart and they're going to put all their tanks directly around your Centurion to always have that bonus power. So the Master Centurion is really only good as a compensation for bad unit placement. Whereas the Brutal Centurion is a tank killing machine. You get your buffs, your tanks all move together, and when your tanks run into other tanks, your Brutal Centurion is going to absolutely tear them into bits, right? Now, my favorite is definitely the Heavy Centurion. I think this guy is just absolutely god tier. He gives you all the tank bonuses, so your team is going to move forward. All your tanks are going to, get empowered by his presence. And then once you actually get into battle, your guy is going to live longer. He's going to have 30% more survivability because all units are going to do 30% less damage to him. That means he lives longer. He has more time to buff the armor of all the units around him, making everybody stronger for a longer period of time. Because if you're dead, your buffs don't count for anything, right? So the master is not really going to be a big deal if he's toast. Whereas the heavy Centurion can be right on the front line, soaking a huge amount of damage, blocking, and surviving and pushing that line forward. So for me personally, I say absolutely, if you are a streamer, you definitely want to go with the heavy Centurion. If you are not a streamer, if you are a player, I would say choose between the brutal and the heavy. I still think that for anybody, even non-streamers, I think the heavy Centurion is the better choice. The more heavy Centurions you have on the battlefield that are super hard to kill, the better, right? When you're hard to kill, I think being hard to kill is better than being good at killing. 40% extra damage is all well and good if you're attacking the right target, but 30% damage resistance against everything means you are 30% stronger against everything instead of 40% stronger against one thing. Make sense? Yeah. Heavy Centurion is the clear winner for streamers and players alike. He is an absolute monster, and I highly recommend everybody boost their Heavy Centurion and get him in the battlefield as fast as you can, because this guy is a champ, just a game-winning champion. All right, guys, I really hope you like this review on the level 20 Centurion class options. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up. It really helps us out. Ring that bell for notifications. And yeah, leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought of this video. Right on, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of the Vash Corps. Thank you for, thank you for watching our videos and making it possible to keep on creating content for you guys. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Oh, yeah.